All right, guys, it's Zach McCarley with a new series called Strongman Theory. In this series, we're going to tackle a little bit about the theory of strongman and how you should consider structure your training, how you should be approaching your training, how should you be improving, how should you evaluate your performance at a contest, all of these things. But first, we're going to have to tackle a little bit broader idea of strongman theory. So, strongman theory. First thing we need to know is, what is strongman, right? I've talked about this in the strongman basic video, but the first thing that people think about when they think about strongman is bodybuilders. No, not quite. Weightlifting, not quite. Powerlifting, getting closer. Fuzzy dudes, very close. Lifting stuff, all right. ESPN, hell yeah, but not quite. Really, what strongman is 7 categories of movement, okay? And I've never heard anybody else describe it this way. This was something that I wrote about years ago. I believe it was in 2015 when I started writing about this. It might have been a little bit sooner than that, but I define strongman as 7 categories of movement. And those categories are pressing, static, dynamic, grip, loading, medley, and endurance, and then miscellaneous. So what do those look like? The pressing movements are like log clean and press, right? Axle, dumbbell. Static movements include deadlifts, squats, even static holds can be categorized as static movements. Dynamic movements like yoke, farmers could be a dynamic movement. Grip, Hercules hold, but also farmers again, right? A lot of these movements have multiple categories. So farmers would actually be in grip and dynamic, right? And if you wanted to, you could argue that it was kind of static with grip, but grip's almost always static, except for arm over arm, which is also a grip movement, but it's also a miscellaneous movement. We'll get there. It's kind of confusing, but we'll get there. Next up, loading. Stones, right? Sandbags, things of this nature, kegs, depending on what level of competition you participate in, you're going to see a bunch of different stuff being loaded. That could also, yeah. I mean, front carries would probably be more in the dynamic, but you could argue a little bit of loading, like Husafelt. We can get into the weeds later, right? Medleys and endurance. So this is mixing all of the above and even some of the miscellaneous movements, but it's really more about strength endurance, okay? A lot of these will go 75 seconds, sometimes 90 seconds. In training, which we might get into at some point if there's a lot of interest for it, in training, you can go up to like a 2-minute time interval for this kind of thing to improve your power output in a shorter window, right? I'm not sure anybody's talked about that yet, but here we are. So, last category, the 7th category is miscellaneous. This would be things like tire flip, keg toss. Arm over arm is a rather good miscellaneous movement. Movements that don't really easily settle in any of these, at least for a majority of the strain of the event, right? So, in the future videos, I would like to talk about the things that I mentioned in the beginning of the video, how to improve, how to assess your own capabilities, how to design a smart strategy for improving your performance in a contest, even point breakdowns of these, right? If you're in a contest and there's 5 events, right, and some of these are going to be distributed, you can almost guarantee that there's going to be one pressing event. That's 20% of your points, 1/5. 20% of your points are going to come from pressing. So if you suck at pressing, you better fix it, right? And if you're in a 7-event contest, probably 2 of those events are going to be pressing, okay? And you're almost guaranteed to always have a loading event. You're almost always guaranteed to have a static event. My evaluation of a good contest is, does it have pressing? Does it have static? Does it have dynamic, grip, and loading, right? And hopefully, you can mix in a little bit of medley or miscellaneous in one of those, because if it doesn't have those first 5 components, it's not a well-structured contest, okay? Strongman theory, baby. All right. Anyway, if you guys want me to talk about anything in particular, please let me know. If you guys are excited about this series, share it with your friends so they can tell me what they would like to hear about when I'm talking about this. And then I guess as a quick wrap up, since this is the first video of this series, I do want to do a quick introduction of who the hell am I, right? I'm Zach McCarley, 6-time national champion for the United States, former pro strongman, former world champion strongman, so it's fair to say that I know what I'm talking about. Competed in strongman for about a decade. I've been gone from the sport for about 7 years, so you probably don't know me, but you can literally just Google my name and I'll show up. So you can do the research on your own if you don't believe who I am, but you probably do. I mean, come on, bro. I lift, right? Anyway, if you want to see something in particular spoken about, please let me know. And if not, I'm just going to carry on with the Strongman Theory as I want to teach it and as I want to talk about it and as I want to increase the pool of knowledge. So I'll catch you guys on the next one. Thank you for watching.